holding on a second. Hold on.
Hello, it's Candace.
And my friend Jenny.
And we are back. And the sun is shining. It is a little bit cool outside.
It is.
But we are definitely...
We are welcoming the cool. Because
welcoming the cool.
We were sitting in here in the heat, the sweat. Now, look, I love summer. I do. I really do.
Yeah.
But I've enjoyed fall a little bit this year.
Yeah.
I think, our fall here, I think we might have said this on another video, is eased in. So I've enjoyed it.
Fall is my favorite time. From now through the new year, it's my favorite time of year.
Well, I love it.
We got a thumbs up.
That's right.
All right.
I love it. I don't love the cold weather, but I love the fall festivals and all these kind of things. Hey, Prince Charming's mom. Hey, Ron Hensley. So we went somewhere.
We
told you we were going somewhere. Hey, Baker Canner, Tina Reddington, Jen Marr.
That's right.
Thank you all for watching.
We went somewhere. I'm sure most of y'all know. So we'll go over a little recap of that, give some highlights from that. The story continued here. She just told me about
something happened yesterday.
Something that continued
yes.
from the story. And then somebody said something on the live with KJ, which caused me to look into something. And that's what we're going to go over.
That's right. That's exactly right. So let's start with the fun.
Let's start with the fun.
We went on our road trip.
Yes, we did.
I mean, and then I kind of opened my mouth on the road trip. And
That's okay.
I was getting ready to say, we're going to see the beautiful leaves in the mountains. And then I thought, I wonder if everybody knows KJ's in the mountains, and then that they might pick up on it. So
it was
I don't
all right.
know. Yes.
And, so we get there. We leave after work. So we're driving in the pure nighttime, dark, black night, right?
Yes.
And, somebody is flooded in Australia.
No. Oh, so sorry, Julie Coe.
I hate that.
Oh, and Julie Pelletier is on here. Oh, Julie, we will be praying for you. I'm so sorry.
And Jenny drove. Last year I drove. This year Jenny drove.
Yes.
And so we get in the car. We think we're going to be able to do our little video going up. The internet's not so good. And Jenny has this thing that her dad bought.
Yes, my dad, I thanked him when I got home because he probably saved our life. So we're going up here to see KJ. We have no idea where we're going. It's nighttime. So we go the wrong way. But these roads are very narrow. Like maybe we might could have fit 2 cars on there, but if you had a big truck, you would not have been able to do that.
Yes.
So we ended up having to turn around in this road. Well, I don't know.
Because somebody was on your tail.
Somebody was all over my tail, making me nervous.
While we're going up these little bitty roads.
Little bitty winding roads.
That's language of horses.
Oh, hey, language of horses. And so we're going up these windy roads. It's dark, and this car is all over my bumper.
Yes.
So in these mountains, the driveways will go straight up, and it's kind of hard to back around. So I pull into this driveway. Thank goodness for this camera that my dad had given us, because I'm having to back and pull up and back and pull up, and I'm looking at the grass in that backup camera because I have an older vehicle that doesn't have a backup camera until he bought me this thing. So the next day, we're out on these roads
where we can see
that all these winding roads this car was making us all nervous on, there's big drop-offs right down the end.
I mean major drop-offs. Straight drop-offs.
Straight drop-offs. Where I backed up, straight drop-off. Now, they're trees, so you probably would go down slowly, but if you were going fast enough, yeah, you'd be going down that mountain. It was...
we thanked
scary.
Your daddy. We
thanked my daddy. We thanked the Lord. Yeah. But we had a great time. Let's see. Some more people are on here. Kathy, Tom Vaughn. Hello. Thank you all for watching.
So, needless to say, I wish we could have videoed all the moments from with KJ, because it was
A
First
wonderful,
of all,
wonderful trip, and we thank her so much.
oh yeah, it was so wonderful. Just the area that you're in is just like straight from heaven.
It's the peak of changing
The
leaves changing. Yes,
I'm trying to block this sun. I'm not doing that good. But she fixed us a big old breakfast.
She did.
And
2 mornings she fixed us a
2
big
mornings
breakfast.
she did that. I mean, I'd never had steak and eggs.
Oh, it was.
I mean,
good.
I'm talking about. Mine was ribeye.
And mine was New York strip. And it was delicious.
And it was organic beef from her neighbor. And I mean, it didn't even, no A1 or nothing, but you didn't need none of that.
No.
It was delicious.
It was absolutely delicious.
Of course, she was so excited for the live. She had really prepared a lot for it. And,
it was so fun.
We just did what she told us to do.
That's
Practiced and tried to contribute where we could contribute. But it was all her.
Yeah, she was
Andrew
amazing.
and her husband,
Yes.
Wayne, videoing.
They are super people.
I mean,
all of them.
Oh my goodness.
Good to the heart.
Yes, absolutely good to the heart. And it was just relaxing.
It was.
Until Tennessee
played
played
that
Alabama.
Was so fun.
Now, this was our first time really being in that sort of scenario, right?
Right.
With them.
Exactly.
Because we met them the first time, spent about 2 hours with them. They wasn't sure if we were crazy. We relived that. They wasn't sure if we were crazy. KJ didn't believe we were crazy, but she, you don't know till you meet somebody.
Right, that's right.
Then they came to North Carolina,
Mm-hmm.
but we didn't really get to stay together.
Right.
We spent as much time together as we could, but you had to work. You started a new job. We just weren't together for hours and hours and hours. So here we are in the same cabin, loving every minute of it.
Absolutely.
And she gave us fabulous gifts. I hate that we didn't. She gave us a Tennessee shirt. She gave us chocolates, a candy apple, a book, a magnet.
Pillow.
What else? A flower. A Tennessee hat and cooking stuff.
Well, you all saw that.
And I might be missing something. I'm telling you, she really showered us. She didn't have to do that. And she got the place.
She's just amazing.
I mean, yeah, she went all out.
Her and her husband and son all.
And Andrew. But that game came on. Now, we are from a place where this is commonplace for us a couple of times a year, where you have this rivalry with this team.
Yes, but I can say I have talked to Candace like a little during and maybe right after one of these games.
Mm-hmm.
It's Carolina and Duke. We're both Carolina fans. So I've talked to her during a little bit and after. I've never been there with her during one of these games. I'm going to have to make a point, because if as excited as we got over Tennessee winning, I mean, we're Tennessee fans now too, I think.
Let me tell you something. Rocky Top has been playing in my head ever since the game.
Yes.
I love that song. I think we should, if you don't have it, get on your Apple playlist. Rocky Top, Tennessee.
Right. That's right.
I mean, that is the place to be.
Yes, it was just so exciting. I just, and I said, I normally just watch like NFL.
Oh, college is much better.
It's so much better.
So
I mean,
much
these
better.
kids have heart, these fans. It's just,
it's regional.
I loved every minute of it.
And I will tell you, they have not beat Alabama in 16 years. I guess maybe it was Peyton's curse. Kathy is roll tide roll, and whatever.
We still love Duke fans too.
When you're committed to your team, you're committed to your team, right?
That's right.
But I will tell you that it was biblical proportion. It could have been Abraham could have been there. Noah could have been there when they're talking about these years and years to accomplish something. That's what it felt like.
Yeah.
I seen a TikTok where somebody sang the song at the end of Titanic when the people are jumping up. Like, it is epic. It was epic for these folks.
Yes.
And I was right there with them. I was bleeding orange. What about you?
I was bleeding orange for sure.
And
we were right there in Tennessee, and we were taking her family.
I'll never forget it. I'll never forget it. If you haven't seen the short of it, you need to. But I love sports. I get into it. I don't even have to know the teams. Normally, if I'm sitting there watching something, I'll just pick a team. And I mean, I start telling them, this is what y'all need to be doing.
Yeah.
I mean, this is what y'all need to be
She
doing.
was coaching the game.
I coached the game.
In fact, one time she said something, and that's nice, Kathy. I like that.
That is sweet.
So she at one point said something, and then the commentator said the exact same thing after her.
Thank you, they did.
I mean, she could call these games,
That's
coach
right.
these games. It was amazing.
Now, we'll tell you something, Kathy, about that. Alabama is the gold standard. And the reason why that it is so epic when you win over someone like this is because probably in their locker rooms every year, they go up, they watch Alabama film. No matter who they're playing, they watch Alabama film. Because if we want to get to where Alabama is, we got to be doing what Alabama's doing. And that's why Carolina and Duke, when people win over them, or these bigger programs, or even the Yankees, people like this, is because they're the gold standard in the sport. And you have to admire them and sort of imitate them because you want the success that they have.
Right. Exactly.
That's what it is. Okay.
Right. That's
so actually Tennessee couldn't have beat Alabama without some Alabama. Without those losses.
That's
because
right.
they wouldn't have been hungry enough.
That's right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Got to feed the beast.
That's exactly right.
I love it. I could talk about it all day long.
I love it too. And that was great. We loved that. We walked, we hiked some. I mean, it was just beautiful. It's like the temperature was perfect. This breeze. I mean, I just can't explain. It was amazing.
But Jenny had left something in her van.
Well, let me tell you.
This is part number 2.
This is part number 2.
We're hedging into something different. It did happen in Gatlinburg, but it just finished today when she sat here and told me the story. So she goes out there. You tell it.
So I go out to change shoes because we're going to go on this hike. And I had left my tennis shoes in the van. So I was leaning down changing my shoes and realized my tire's flat. So, you know, KJ and her husband and son came over and looked, and they're like, oh yeah. So we went on our hike, and then we went down and found somewhere. We rode with KJ and her family to a tire place to see if they were going to be open. And so they were open the next day, so we were going to go back the next day. So I told Candace, I'm going to get up early because, I mean, you can tell these people, you know, that Wayne and Andrew are just, well, KJ, of course, amazing, but they're all three good as gold. So I knew Wayne and Andrew were going to take this car. Well, I felt bad. Here we're supposed to be relaxing, and somebody's got to go get my tire fixed. So I told Candace I was going to get up at 8 o'clock in the morning, and I was going to go and get my tire. And she said, well, she told me I need to be careful because sometimes.
Not sometimes.
That they'll take advantage of a woman trying to do these things, anything mechanical with their car, or anything like that.
So you're not doing it.
So
you taking,
of course,
Wayne
and Andrew
with you,
right? And so Wayne and Andrew just said, "We're taking your car." They did it. Had us just sitting and relaxing at the cabin. So
nice.
Thank you again, Wayne and Andrew. I appreciate
it
so much. So
you had to get a new tire.
Then he got a new tire. I got a new tire. Well, yesterday I come out.
Well, first tell them what was wrong with your tire.
Okay, there was a nail in the side of my tire. Like not underneath, not like I ran over it, but in the side of it.
Very suspicious. Very suspicious.
Like a 2-inch nail. There was a little one like that a few months ago. But anyway.
She needs a camera outside of her home.
Yeah.
I don't know who.
Yeah, I'm going to do that.
Just trying to deflate Jenny.
Yeah.
But we're not going to have it.
No. So I come out of the hospital yesterday, and my tire's going flat again. The same tire again.
The same tire.
This is the third time in like 2 or 3 months.
Oh, Janine says her first live ever.
Oh,
welcome.
Hey! Is it Jeannie or Jean Caronco?
I
Hey,
would say
Paula.
It's Jeannie, but I mean,
okay,
I don't know.
Jeannie, Kathy, Donna Brown. Thank you all for watching.
So your tire is flat.
So my tire's going flat again, and there's another nail in it. And this one is on the, like, it looks like I ran over this
Okay,
one.
was it the same nail?
Wasn't the same nail.
I mean, it wasn't the same type of nail.
Wasn't the same type of nail, and it wasn't in the side of the tire like the other two. It was like I ran over it. So I go to the a tire place. I get a friend to follow me to a tire place.
Mm-hmm.
And I go in and tell them I need a new tire. So they come out. Of course, they look at all my tires.
Yes, they do.
Tell me that I need all new tires.
Mm-hmm.
So we go inside, and I'm like, well, okay, because I'm going to be honest with you. I don't do really good maintenance with my vehicles like I should. So I go into this place, and they're like going to try to sell me $900 for 4 tires. And I said, no, I don't rotate my tires. I don't do good taking care of my tires.
Plus, a nail don't care how much you spend on a tire.
Right.
It'll deflate it.
I have issues with this. So, yeah, just give me the cheapest thing you've got. So, it's like $500 and some for 4 tires.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm like, okay. So, my friend takes me and drops me off at home. And here I'm thinking, oh, Candace said I would get taken advantage of. Yeah, they tried to sell me $900 worth of tires, but I got by with like $500 and some worth.
You couldn't wait to tell me this story,
yeah,
right? Because you were going to brag that they did not take advantage of you.
Wrong. I get home and I tell my husband that they said I need all new tires. And so I tell him the story, and he's like, Jenny, it hadn't been long you got new tires. Your parents surprised you with some new tires. Well, then I remember, oh my gosh, they did.
Like 6 months ago.
Yeah. And I did not remember that. And usually I need tires because, like I said, I drive a little crazy and need, So he had to call up there and make them put all the other tires back on and just give me the 1 tire.
They refunded your money.
And refunded my money. So, yes. So Candace was right that I was taken advantage of.
Yeah, I'm not a business person, but I don't know where y'all live. But this scenario has happened. No, well, not about full tires, but I've told y'all the scenario. I think I've told it on here. When I first got married and I had a new vehicle and I went to go get the oil changed. And I told my husband, I really don't want to go do it because, I feel like they come out there and they're kind of always talking to the women, trying to upsell the woman and, do all this stuff. It's just not women's wheelhouse. Women are smart enough to know all of it. But women are over here running everything else in the world.
Well, you got 100 other things. You got 100 other things in your mind. So, yeah.
So, I love a woman who knows all about the mechanics, can change the tire, change the oil, argue a man down and ain't going to get taken advantage of. I love that. But my poor little brain can't take in no more than what it's already got. Okay. But, so my husband said, it'll be all right. Well, of course, they come out there and they tell me the windshield wiper fluid is low. Do you want us to top it off? I say, sure, top it off. This is a long time ago because I've been married almost 30 years. It was like $15. And I thought, now, first of all, my husband is tight with the money. That's a good thing. And he got so mad at me. He really did. He got so mad at me. And he said, do you know, I have a jug of that stuff. I could have filled it up. The whole jug costs $2. And here you go. You just said yes. I said, I'll tell you what, it won't ever happen again. I have to take it sometimes because he's working. But if you want anything about my vehicle, you're going to have to call my husband and you're going to have to talk to him and FaceTime him and show him what you're talking about because I'm not in it.
Well, I'm going to be that way now.
But I do think that these, at least here where we currently live, it's not regulated. Like insurance companies regulate, and I'm not saying I'm not on the side of the insurance companies and all this stuff and what they charge people for medical treatment. But they put a limit on what a doctor can charge for certain things.
Right.
Like an ultrasound, we're only going to pay this amount of money for it. There's not this type of regulation in hair services, or car services. I mean, who knows? They could have put used. You thought you were buying brand new tires. They could have put used tires on there. You wouldn't know no darn difference.
Oh, no, obviously.
And they could have been the ones putting the nails in them. I mean, you don't know.
No.
Right?
They might be out here throwing nails, so we have to go get new tires.
Exactly.
I mean, that's not nice of me to say because I don't know,
But I think a good business thing would be if we could get some honest people, mostly men. I hate to say it because most women don't know a lot about this. If we could get some honest men for, like, especially single women, widowed women, divorced women who need a man sometimes to go with them to the place and kind of act like their husband, and then they don't get hoodooed and taken advantage of with the money for these cars. Buying cars too. There is a lady on TikTok that she does have a consulting service, and you can email her, and I'm sure she ain't making like thousands of dollars on it, but she tells you all the ins and outs of buying a car, especially for women, but I mean men too, because a lot of times, I'm sorry, these people, they have a way of convincing you need this or you need all this stuff added on, and you really don't.
Well, and you know, I will say this, like, I would take my mom to buy a car, and my daughter are very good, like, negotiators and that kind of thing. So if
it ain't that, it's what they put onto it
well,
afterwards.
Yeah.
That these are things that you don't even know. They say it's these packages. This is what she says. She has educated me on a bunch of stuff. But anyway, we need that service. I don't know how to start it, but we need it.
And if anybody on here sells cars or sells tires, that's okay. We love you, and
as long as you're being honest,
we don't care. That's right. That's right. Hey, Julie Wilburn.
Because you want people to be honest with you when you go to the hospital. You don't want them ordering a bunch of tests that you don't need just to get a bunch of money.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
That's exactly right.
And I do believe that what you put out in the world is what's going to come back to you.
This is true.
This is what I'm going to say.
This is true. We have Pamela on here. Pamela Diamond and Jennifer Rudd.
Now, I had somebody else that I think did you go to nursing school with Joy?
Yeah.
So Joy tells me.
Well, I don't know that I went to nursing school with Joy.
Oh, but you worked with her.
We did the orientation at the hospital at the same time.
Right. So I used to work with this nurse, and she's moved to the beach, and so we stay sort of, what you call in contact, like not direct contact, but seeing each other's life on social media and what's going on. And she says, "Oh, I watch your TikTok. I mean, not TikTok. Oh, I watch your YouTube all the time." And I was like, "You do?" I said, "Well, you should comment." She said, "I do." I said, "Well, I'm sorry. I don't, other than if it's your name, I don't know, because sometimes people have handles." So shout out to her. And if you're on here, I would like for you to let us know that you're on here. What did somebody said that Bryn Marshall said?
Yeah, Bryn Marshall. Hey, Bryn Marshall. Hey, Paula.
My son sells cars, no offense, because he does have a system.
There you go. And Paula's saying, Candace, I'd like to know that TikTok name so I can follow her.
I will look on here and I will post it after we do this. I'll post her little TikTok. But I mean, she really, and you can actually email her, and she will, I don't know what her charges are, but she will actually contact the dealership for you.
Oh, nice.
She used to sell cars, so she knows all of the...
Yeah.
She knows all of the things.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, and Baker Canner says she has a wonderful Christian garage. Baker King, is that?
Baker Canner. She says, "I have a wonderful Christian garage. I am single. They tell me often that things will last a little longer. No need to fix or replace things. They show me bad parts if I need to fix something." And
that is good. And
I do
too.
I do have a
garage person.
Local garage in our area.
Mechanic person is what I meant. I don't know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
they don't do tires.
Well, mine does do tires. And they,
you trust to go to them.
Well,
yeah.
My husband does because, but a lot of people in our area are country folks. They ain't nothing but salt of the earth. And country folks are smart people. A lot of people think because you talk slow, you think slow, but you don't.
That's right.
And but a lot of country men out there, they're not gonna let nobody take advantage of them. But they seem to be real good. It's more these people like in town, and especially when they see a woman coming. I'm sorry. I wish I had the knowledge. That's what we need, is like a little class.
Well, I mean, I didn't think, I don't know. I didn't really look at the tires, to be honest with you. I just went by what he said. But,
It ain't never good. You
not-
always
not
get a
gonna
second
happen
opinion,
again.
and you
That's right.
always ask your husband.
Well, I should have said,
let me call
I'm
my
going to
husband.
get one tire. If my husband thinks we need more, I'll be back. That's what I should have said.
Well, they might have charged you $500 for one tire.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, I'm just
They might
saying.
have tried. That's
You
right.
should have said, let me call my husband, because then they know, ooh, there's a man involved.
Yeah, probably so. That's right.
This is the one thing where a lot of times we do need a man.
We do.
Cher says that often, that we don't really need one.
This might be a time.
This might
we
be
need
the
one.
time that we do need one.
That's right.
So, back to seriousness.
That's right.
Because our YouTube channel is focused on, we're focused number one on the Daybell case and justice for JJ, Tyler, Charles, Tammy, and Joe. That's our focus. And, I do believe it's going to be kind of a strung out thing, but I know in my heart justice is coming.
That's
And
right.
so, not in my timing, God's timing. And so we're just going to be here for it. And that's just the statement of this channel. That's the mission of
That's
this channel.
exactly right.
But in the other night when we had the live, and KJ was making her valid points about why are they not releasing, thank you, Julie Wilburn.
Yes, thank you.
Why are they not releasing the bodies, and why will they not release the bodies for them to bury the children?
Right.
Now, I did say to KJ, they exhumed Tammy and they put Tammy right back, as they should have. Get the evidence, So if they can do that with her, like let's say there was a new technique or a new, how they get advancements in testing of DNA and stuff like that. If there was something new, they can always exhume her, right? I don't know why they can't do that with the children. And, I do not understand all the legal aspects of it. But somebody, and I do not know who it was, because, it was happening kind of fast, because I was kind of reading the chat behind KJ. And when you're doing all the talking, it's a little bit hard to keep up with it. And somebody said, because KJ said, tell me of a case that they've done this with. Well, I mean, I didn't know of any, right off the top of my head, right? But somebody said, that man on TV, who his son was murdered, and he's now on TV. And I knew immediately who they were talking about. Did you?
I did not.
Adam Walsh, John Walsh, the creator of America's Most Wanted. Adam Walsh was his son, 5 years old. If you don't know the story, which we're going to go over a little bit of it, because when I read it, I was in shock. Were you in shock when I read to you the stuff?
Yes, I was.
I don't know about Tammy being embalmed. I'm going to probably say yes. Because I don't think I know she was buried kind of quickly, but not like within a day. Right? But I don't know the answer to that. Actually, I do not. Maybe one day, and I'm looking forward to some of Tammy's family members, giving us some of their insight and some of what was going on with Tammy and Chad and, that whole perspective.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's the most important perspective, is the victim's family members, and they were the ones. They mention it in Ron. They mention it in this thing I'm going to read about him. Yes. So let's just get into it. So I'm going to read it. We could just put it right here. Is this okay? So it's the kidnap. Does it go like this? I can do this. Okay. So on the afternoon of July 27th, 1981, Adam accompanied his mother, Reve, on a shopping trip in Hollywood Mall. It's in Hollywood, Florida. They went to Sears, entering through the north entrance. Reve intended to inquire about a lamp that was on sale and left Adam at a kiosk with Atari 2600 video games on display, where several other boys were taking turns playing them. Reve completed her business in the lamp department around 12:15 p.m. Now, they don't say what time they went in there. She said that she returned to find that Adam and the other boys had disappeared. A store manager informed her that a scuffle had broken out over whose turn it was at the kiosk, and the security guard demanded that the boys leave the store. The security guard asked the older boys if their parents were present, and they said they were not. Adam's parents later conjectured that their son had been too shy to speak to the security guard, who presumed that he was in the company of the other boys and made him leave by the same door by which the boys had entered, the Sears West entrance. Remember, they come in the north entrance. His parents believed that after the other boys dispersed, he was left alone outside the store at an unfamiliar exit to him. Meanwhile, unable to find Adam in the toy department, Reve had him paged over the public address system and continued to look for him throughout the store. This is where we get Code Adam. Remember how when we were growing up, well, I mean, I was 11 when this happened, but, you know, it became a big thing. If they were to yell out a Code Adam in a store, that's what it meant. By coincidence, she ran into her mother-in-law, Jean, who helped her search for him. After more than 90 minutes of searching and paging failed to locate Adam, Reve called the Hollywood police at 1:55 p.m. Now, this was July 27th.
That's awful.
On August 10th, a severed head was found in a drainage canal along the Florida Turnpike near Vero Beach, almost 130 miles from Hollywood. Divers searched the canal on the morning of August 11th. John and Reve appeared on national television saying that they still hoped Adam was alive. A $100,000 reward was posted for Adam's safe return. Soon after, the recovered remains were identified as Adam's. The coroner ruled that the cause of death was asphyxiation. The state of the remains suggested that Adam had died several days before the discovery of his head. The rest of his body was never recovered.
That's so sad.
So, John and Reve believe that Hollywood Police Department botched the treatment of Adam's disappearance, first with the missing person investigation and then with the murder. After some investigation, police eventually concluded that Adam was abducted by a drifter named Otis Toole near the front exterior of Sears after being instructed to leave by a security guard. Toole said that he had lured Adam into his white 1971 Cadillac with promises of toys and candy, then proceeded to drive north on Interstate 95 toward his home in Jacksonville. According to Toole, Adam was first docile and compliant, began to panic as they drove off. Toole punched him in the face, but as this just made the situation worse, then he walloped him unconscious. While Adam was unconscious, Toole drove north on Florida Turnpike to a deserted service road just north of Raid Ball Road overpass. When Toole realized Adam was still breathing, he strangled him to death with a seatbelt, dragged him out of the car, and decapitated him with a machete. Toole also claimed to have incinerated the body in an old refrigerator when he returned to Jacksonville. He claimed that he wanted to make Adam his adopted son, but that was not deemed feasible. The source of blood found in Toole's car could not be identified. The police ultimately lost the bloodstained carpet from the car. I mean, I don't know how this happens. Do you?
No.
The machete said to have been to decapitate Adam, and eventually the car itself. They lost all of this. Toole, a confidant of convicted serial killer Henry Lee Lucas, repeatedly confessed and retracted accounts of his involvement. Toole was never charged in Adam's case, although he provided seemingly accurate description as to how he committed the crime. Netflix confession tapes show footage of him apparently being fed information from interrogators and later confessed to several cases he had no involvement in. Several witnesses also placed him in the Hollywood area in the days leading up to Adam's disappearance. In September 1996, he died in prison of cirrhosis at the age of 49 while serving a life sentence for other crimes. He never was charged for this. Later, his niece told John Walsh that he made deathbed confession to Adam's murder. His confession was viewed as unreliable, as he and Lucas confessed to or implicated themselves in more than 200 homicides. Most of Lucas's confessions were later revealed to have been false, having been coerced by the Texas Rangers. In 1997, Hollywood Police Chief Rick Stone conducted an exhaustive review of Adam's case after the release of John's book. At the time, Stone was a 22-year veteran of the Dallas, Texas, and Wichita, Kansas police departments and had been appointed Hollywood's chief of police in previous year. Although the crime happened 16 years before the time of the review, he provided an analysis of the evidence, including a reviewed tape interrogation of Toole by Hollywood detective Mark Smith. Stone says that his review found evidence beyond a reasonable doubt that Toole murdered Adam. Stone noted that both Toole and Lucas were notorious for confessing to crimes that they had committed and then recanting. In 2007, a decade after that, according to the allegations that earned widespread publicity, Jeffrey Dahmer, who was arrested in Wisconsin in 1991 after killing more than a dozen men and boys, was also named a suspect in Adam's murder. Dahmer's father called the America's Most Wanted hotline soon after his son's arrest to claim that he believed his son was a pedophile. Dahmer was living in Miami Beach. I'm assuming that's near this Hollywood, right? Hollywood, Florida, at the time of Walsh's murder, and two eyewitnesses placed him at the mall on the day that Adam was abducted. One claimed to have seen a strange man walking into the toy department. The other said that he saw a young blonde man with a protruding chin throw a struggling child into a blue van and speed off. Both witnesses recognized the man they seen as Dahmer when pictures of him were released in the newspaper after his arrest. Reports revealed that the delivery shop where Dahmer worked had a blue van at the time. He preyed on young men and boys, the youngest being 8, older than Adam, because Adam is 5. They said protruding chin. I don't know. That's what they said. His modus operandi including severing his victims' heads. When he was interviewed about Adam Walsh in 1992, Dahmer repeatedly denied his involvement in the crime, even stating, "I've told you everything, how I killed them, how I cooked them, how I ate them. Why wouldn't I tell you if I did that to someone else?" After this rumor surfaced, John Walsh stated that he had seen no evidence linking Adam's abduction and murder to those that were committed by Jeffrey Dahmer. On December 16, 2008, Hollywood Police Chief Chad Wagner and with his friend John present made the announcement that the case was now closed and an external review of the case had conducted, and police announced that they were satisfied that Toole was murdered, that Toole was the murderer. But the biggest thing was, where does it talk about that? The coroner ruled that Adam died of asphyxiation. The state of the remains suggested that Adam had died several days before the discovery of his head. The rest of the body was never recovered. The head itself would be kept in the morgue until the case closed in 2008.
More than a
27 years.
Well,
Is
yeah,
that not right?
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
from
Way more than a decade.
1981.
Yes.
1981 to 2008. I told KJ this information. I mean, of course, we were still, it was the next day. It was the next day. It was after the game. I told KJ this information.
It's so sad.
We do not know all things. We do not know all legal things. We do not know why they would do this. We do not know the reasoning for this. Now, to be honest, we don't know if John Walsh and them asked for the body.
Yeah.
Maybe because they didn't have the murderer, or they didn't feel like they had the murderer. Maybe that's why. We feel like we have the murderers in this case. Matter of fact, we know we have the murderers in this case. Right. Okay. So, and we know Alex was involved too. And, we already know where he is. So, I don't know why that, took so long, but I guess until the case was completely closed. But that was shocking to me.
I mean, it's heartbreaking.
And that is devastating information.
From the beginning. I mean, it's just so sad. Makes my heart hurt really bad. I mean, just... Bryn Marshall, that's right.
Yeah, read what they say. Let's see what they say.
So...
I don't know what this is.
I don't know what that is. Kathy Gregg. Philly's on here. Kathy said, I remember when this happened. I was pregnant with my first child and it scared the crap out of me. It's terrifying. Bryn Marshall says, oh boy, that changed with Adam's abduction on the way stores do things now. I should hope so for sure. Onyx. Hey, Onyx. Thank you. Lucas and Toole were actually lovers. I did not know that.
I didn't know that either. Because we only know what the thing says.
Oh, and Ron Hensley said Dahmer injured and had surgery on his chin.
Oh.
Hey, little bronze.
Well,
I mean, it's just, it's heartbreaking that, Kathy says, it's also sad the only reason Tammy was permitted to be buried was because it was not ruled a murder at the time. That came after the exhumation.
This is correct. And you know what? Actually, they probably put her back in the ground and it still wasn't ruled a murder as of that day. It probably took till they got all the evidence to do that. So that is correct. I will say, I've seen those, how they do those Dateline things. I don't know if it's Dateline or 2020 where they're asking parents, they're like at a playground and they're asking parents like, do you talk to your children about not going to people if they're offering you candy or puppies or, you want to come see my puppies or whatever. And these parents are over here and they're like, oh yeah, my child will never do it. Never do it. And they have a person who is with the crew and they lure their children right away from them.
It's heartbreaking, and it's like when
you can't take your eyes off of them.
Well, and when I heard this, like when they said that he was probably too shy to say, "My mom's right over there." I mean,
the man was probably hollering at him. That probably shocked him. He's 5 years old. I mean, he cannot be held accountable for what happened to him because he's 5 years old.
It's so sad because that's exactly right. I mean, he is just
a baby.
He had to be just scared to. Oh my gosh, it's just terrifying.
But somebody did give us that little nugget in the live, and I thought, well, you know what? Let's look that up because when people say stuff, and that's the thing is we all have these things that we know about different things. And so when somebody said that, I was like, well, let me look that up. And sure enough, I was like, good night.
Yeah.
2008?
I mean, that is a long time to get that closure.
But John Walsh did what I think a lot of victims, family members do.
Try to help other people.
They try to help other people. They try to make a difference.
take a bad situation.
That's right.
And make your, you know, to keep the legacy of his child alive. And he has.
And he has. There's that one man, I do not know his name. I want to say his daughter's name was Polly. I could be completely wrong about that because this is just off the top of my head. She was kidnapped out of her home. Out of her home. And, you know, but he's on there. I think that her person was caught and tried and everything. And I think this was in the state of California. And but he's out there. I see him on like the nightly stuff, like Nancy Grace when she used to have her show, and he's on there. You know, Natalie Holloway's mama. I mean, unfortunately, there's people that we know as household names because this trauma, devastating trauma, has happened. Mark Klass. Was his daughter named Polly? But, you know, they're out there, you know, they don't want it to happen to anybody else. And I know that none of these victims' family members want it to happen to anybody else. And what's really, it's hard enough when a stranger does something like that, but when your own mama, your own husband, your own wife,
the person you're supposed to trust the most in your life,
that you should be able to be the most, oh, he married Natalie's mom. Oh, well, that's nice. That's what he said. Is that what it said?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Prince Charming's mom said, I think he married Natalie's mom.
Well, I hope so. I hope they found...
yes, it was Polly.
Happiness. But, you know...
Little Bron says, I hope this case changes laws for future cases.
I hope so, too. I hope so, too. I hope so about a lot of parts of it. Yeah. I mean...
It's awful.
It's awful because what in this case, in the Daybell case...
Bryn Marshall says, I'm from Arkansas and Morgan Nick has never been found.
Oh, we'll look it up.
Yeah, we'll have to look that up. And, let's see...
We have a murder here. This was when I was little. Do you remember that lady named Tammy? I forget the last name. She was hit. She was running down the road. She was jogging, exercising. And I want to say, I want to say she wasn't never found. But I mean, for a long time, decades of my life, they had her picture up on the, you know, the poles. You know, of course, this was before you could get big billboards and everything, and offering a reward. But I don't think they ever either. I know they never found who did it. I know they never found who did it.
So, because Kathy on here, I saw where Kathy said some people never get closure, and that breaks her heart. That's true. That is heartbreaking.
That is heartbreaking.
Because...
Well, that happened to Natalie Holloway's mom.
Yes. I mean, there's never going to be closure in that situation. It's horrible.
And what's bad about it, like especially like Natalie Holloway's situation, you know, especially if you're a mother, there's a lot of times that your children want to do things and your first instinct is no, come back over here. You know, I don't want you to grow up and, you know, do these, you know, go on these vacations with other people or move to another city where you don't know a single soul, you know, because you feel like it's not maybe the safest thing. But then you convince yourself it'll be okay. Most of the time, nothing happens.
You gotta let them live.
You gotta let them grow up. And then there's other people telling you that. And so the guilt that these people probably have, some of these people. I mean, look at Adam's mama.
Yeah.
I mean, that would just be heart-wrenching.
Yeah. But it's something that in the 80s did not seem like it does now. Like, depending on where you lived. Julie Wilburn said, my son got separated from us at the beach and we called 911. Turned out he was with another family member, but it was the most terrifying 30 minutes of my life, I am sure. And Bryn Marshall said Morgan was 6 years old and was taken at a baseball game. That is awful. That is awful. It does, but yes, makes your heart drop. If, you know, if I can't imagine. I feel so sorry for people that have gone through that. Just have to pray.
And it can happen to anybody. That's why, any way, and I'll confess, I don't know the ways that we can get the laws stricter, tighter, especially for a parent or someone who is supposed to be in charge of the care of a child, or there's killing their spouse or whatever. But I don't know the way that we can do that, but I'm hoping that that's something that can come out of all of this, is that we can, that it just wasn't so easy for them. I'm telling you, they would have got away with it for a long time if Kay Woodcock had not been sounding the alarm.
That's exactly right. Thank goodness she was. Which she was, because these are her grandchildren. She's going to be.
Right. But, it's difficult when people move away from you and cut contact with you and, all that stuff. But I do believe they would have gotten away with it. I don't think they would have got away with it forever, but I do think they would have gotten away with it for, and maybe killed others.
Yep.
So.
Yep, that's exactly right.
And do we know, I have not heard any update about Lori's status.
Where is she? I don't know. I have not either.
I mean, Nate Eaton or none of them have said, what's that say?
Julie Wilburn, you're exactly right. She said, my daughter's 27 and I still warn her every time she goes on a trip. Lock the doors, don't talk to strangers, never go to the bathroom alone, stay with the group, you never stop worrying. That's exactly right. That is exactly right, Julie Wilburn. I don't care how old you are. All of us. I mean,
well, KJ was texting us the other night.
Yes, I'm going to tell you. When I was working here in Alamance County. That's real smart to do right here. We're talking about.
It's all right. It's all right.
Anyway, I was working and there was an elderly lady who, somebody broke into her house, and it was a family member of somebody that I knew, and attacked her. Yeah, every one of us need to be careful, all ages. Males, females, everybody.
But we were having trouble the other night finding the place. Of course, it's up on a mountain. I mean, it's dark as night. We have that person on us. We had to turn around on the side of a mountain.
That was terrifying.
And KJ, because we were doing the directions, I did not see that KJ had texted us. And then she said, are y'all going to answer me, or am I going to have to come looking for y'all?
And they were in the car cranking it up.
She said her husband was getting ready to get in the car, and about that time we pulled up. And so,
Lori just needed her hair done again.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Tessie Cooper, that's right. Anyway, yeah.
Lori is in La La Land.
Yeah. She stays there. In her head, anyway, right? She's crazy. But not crazy enough to be in a mental institute. She needs to be in prison.
Well, she has mental disorders.
She does.
But
she's
not anything that we can help.
And not anything. She still, to me, was very aware of what she was doing and needs to pay for it.
100%. Somebody asked about Jordan Vandersloot. I just told somebody about that whole story the other day. Because if you don't know, you're going to have to hit it. I can't see it. If you don't know, all right, read the comment.
And didn't Vandersloot get a bunch of money from Natalie's mom? He promised her information as to her whereabouts for money, and he never delivered.
That's true, but I'm going to tell you what did deliver. Karma. Karma delivered. So, if you don't know, Jordan Vandersloot was a Dutch citizen, I think, living in Aruba. His dad was some kind of big person up in the courts. I don't know about all that. And what I personally think happened, could be completely wrong. This is theory and conjecture. But what I think happened was the drinking age is 18. And Natalie was about this big. And I think that they went down there, and I think that those young people were drinking a lot, way more than they normally were. And I think that they met at that Charlie's bar, and Jordan is, Vandersloot is a local there, those other boys are locals, the bartender's local. And I think that they had this thing where they would, I know he was giving her 40 proof shots, and he probably slipped her something, a date rape drug. I believe that they took her off. I believe that things started getting hot and heavy with them. And I believe she had alcohol intoxication. And I believe she started having a seizure and she died right there. And he knew that he gave her something. I do not think that he, like, took her out to kill her.
Right.
That's my belief. Now, his actions, she died. So he can be held liable for that. And I believe that he went and got his daddy, and his daddy told him whatever it was that they did, and that's why we've never been able to discover her remains. But her dad was playing tennis and died on tennis court. He was like 48 years old. And then Jordan went to Peru. It's a whole different country on the other side of South America. And he meets this girl, and he's they're in a hotel. I think that she come from like a real well-off family. And it was the day that Natalie Holloway had been missing for 10 years. I mean, the day. The date. And I guess, you know, they had an encounter or whatever. He goes into the shower. She decides to look him up on the computer. And this is what she sees. Well, she must have encountered him about it. Well, he murders her. And he leaves out. Well, of course, he's on surveillance video in this hotel. I mean, they're watching him walk out. She goes in, she doesn't leave, you know, the whole 9 yards. And he's serving life in prison in Peru for this.
He got his.
Same thing happened to OJ. I'm just saying. You know, it may not be what we call that they got justice on the case that we want them to get justice on.
But they're going to get it.
But they get it. A lot of times.
Yep.
A lot of times. And so, because, you know, that's a lot of pressure to get. But that's what I really believe happened in the Natalie Holloway case. And once you decide to, you know, give somebody a drug or dispose of their body, now you have incriminated yourself into their death, you know.
Absolutely.
So, and there's no coming back from it, you know.
No.
There's no coming back from that.
No.
And it's horrible. And, you know, I heard somebody say a long time ago, and I believe this. A lot of people may not believe this, but I believe this. The 10 Commandments say, honor your mother and father so that your days may be long on earth.
Mm-hmm.
And I do believe that that's a promise from God about that. But I do believe that some of that is your parents have good, usually great information to help your life last a long time.
Right.
Right? So, I don't know.
It doesn't mean if they're telling you to do horrible, illegal things that you should do it. It does not mean that.
Right.
No.
But you know what I mean.
It does. It means, yeah.
So anyway, that is our live for this week.
It is. It is.
And, well, we'll just have to see if something else happens in the case. And we're going to look up that other case that somebody put on here. Cause,
maybe we'll talk about that one next.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. It helps people, because I never heard of it.
Me either.
So, yeah.
Yeah, we'll do that. Yeah, give us, you know, anything you want us to talk about like that, put it in the comments. We'll give us ideas. And, you know, because we like to take cases and compare. You know, like this one was brought up because of how long
release the bodies.
That's right. How long this body, or this part of this body, was held from this family. So we don't know. We hope it's not that long for them. But honoring my father is a daily thing. Thankful my mom is still here to honor on earth. Thanks, ladies. Oh, thank you, Julie Wilburn. That's so nice. Yes, and I'm blessed with wonderful parents too that I honor, and I feel bad for those people that don't have wonderful parents, for sure.
Like
Tylee
and JJ.
And JJ.
Well, they had one good parent.
They did.
Charles.
That's right. That is exactly right.
So we will just keep our eyes and ears.
That's right.
On the case. Yes. Any new developments? I mean, I hate to say it. I think it's going to be. The other day, I had a sickening feeling in my stomach when they were talking about Elizabeth Smart, which, I mean, I'm going to tell y'all right now, y'all didn't know me then, but when that, I worried them girls at work to death about it, because I kept saying, because it was on Nancy Grace every night.
Mm-hmm.
And I kept saying, it had to be somebody who knew him. It had to be somebody who knew him. I just felt like she was alive. I can't explain it. I mean, I'm not psychic. I did not have no visions or nothing like that. But I just felt like, I believe she's alive. I don't know. And I mean, the one girl that I used to work with, Kim, she said, I think if you could, you would go out there and look for her. I said, I am obsessed with this case. But when they finally got him, somebody put on here the other day, and I knew it was a long time. I didn't know how long it was, but it took 8 years for their case to get adjudicated. And it just made me sick in my stomach. Because the day Elizabeth Smart was kidnapped, the night she was kidnapped, all of her horror started right then.
That's right.
She didn't get no 8-year reprieve.
No.
She didn't get to say, you know, all these things. That's what just burns me up about it. Just burns me up about it.
Yep.
But I'm going to tell you what, now that girl has, I tell you what, she is made of some strong stuff.
Yeah.
Have you seen her?
She is, yes. Yes, I mean.
Her mama told her, I'll never forget it. And we could all use a little dose of this. Because sometimes things happen to people and they just cannot
Get past it.
They become consumed, and so they can't move out of it to actually live the rest of their life that they have, right?
That's right.
And she said her mom said to her, he took all these things from you, but the one thing you can do is not give him another second.
That's right.
Don't give him another second. Live your life. Live happy. Be contribute to the world in a good way. Enjoy all these things, and I think that is just great advice.
Absolutely,
for all of us, because even things that don't seem so big to other people can really be stumbling blocks for people.
Yeah, most definitely.
Don't let it have control of you.
No,
you'll never forget it.
No, you'll never forget
but
it.
Don't
and
let
it
it have control of you. Live your life. Life ain't. It's like a vapor, and that is another thing that I just forgot.
Yeah, we did not understand something that Candace, well, I did, but they talk about her accent.
Do I have one? I have an accent?
You have a country accent.
I have a country accent, yeah.
And she was saying.
KJ was saying that life is not long. And I said, it's a vapor. I thought I said, I didn't say it's like a vapor like the Bible says, but I said it's a vapor. But I did not say it like that. I probably strung it all together with a little southern twang, sprinkled it with a little, North Carolina salt on there, and I said, it's a vapor. Well, I'm telling you, KJ got the biggest kick out of that. Andrew was even repeating it to us. I mean, I said, we need a shirt that says, it's a vapor. Because
it sounded like she says, Savapa.
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 And we were like, well,
I was saying it's a vapor.
Yeah, they were like, what did you say? So that's what we said. We need shirts that say Savapa.
Savapa. Life is a vapor.
Yep.
And so we got to enjoy what we got.
That's exactly right. So let's see who all's still on here and tell everybody bye. Thank you all for watching. Paula, Casey Hazlett, Nancy Diamond Hay, Kathy, Prince Charming's mom, Bryn Marshall, Kathy Barella, Baker Canner. Did I say
like
Bryn Marshall? Yeah. Tom Vaughn.
Oh, look at Lemonette. Is that what that says?
Where? Oh, yeah. Kathy, Julie Wilburn, Lemonette.
I love lemonade. I mean, I have it in all of my tea. They call it an Arnold Palmer. I don't know what you call it. I call it good.
That's right.
Half tea, half lemonade.
That's good.
And it helps you not have kidney stones.
That's right. Little Bronze. That's good to know.
Well, that's true.
Hensley, Tessie Cooper, Tina Reddington, just me. Thank you all. Thank you all for watching.
So until next time.
Bye.